Hello, welcome to Celestial Waters. My name is Demi. So we're going to hop right into it. This is going to be a collective message on basically what is going on within this modern dating scene or within our love life in this day and age. This is what is coming through from spirit, and they'll give me a vision. It was like some of you in the collective, it's like you were sitting there, you're looking out your window. When you're looking out your window, you're seeing the modern dating scene. You're seeing like people's relationships, their romantic connections, situationships, entanglements. I'm hearing all of this stuff. You're looking out and all these things are just buzzing past your window, and you're like, no, thank you. You're looking out again, you're like, maybe I put myself out there, maybe I'm gonna go on a few dates. You look out the window again, you're like, nope. So they asked me to come on here and get a few collective messages and what is going on when it comes to this modern dating scene. And they are saying, obviously, we're in a huge mass global death and rebirth, an ascension and a descension, and everything in between. But it's like when it comes to the dating scene, when it comes to love lives right now in this modern world, particularly for the generations of the millennials and Gen Z, it's like you can't have the in between. It's like all or nothing. That's what's coming through. So it's like, do you want the ascension or do you want the descension? Do you want the death or do you want the rebirth energy? Do you want to settle or do you want the true love? That's what is coming through here. There's no in between, and that's what's going on right now. That's what we're seeing right now. This is where people are struggling, because before in the past people would kind of settle and do like do life together, have a partner. You would have a life partner, you would just do life together like what society would expect. And more people are pulling away from what society expects, what your family expects, what your friends expect, and you're standing more in your power. And obviously you're walking your own yellow brick road path. You're walking that pathway to ascension, but your authenticity. More people are standing in their authenticity, and they want somebody else who is doing the same thing. And this is where more and more people are wanting that true love. You want that actual genuine connection that's coming from the soul, the heart, that isn't just about the physicality and shadow things and like hobbies and things in society. They keep pointing to society, things in society that people expect you to do, like to get married and have a child by this age, More and more people aren't doing that, because they're like, yeah, but this person isn't for me. I would just be settling. People don't want to settle anymore. They want an actual genuine connection where it's mutual, and they want true love. So what is going on right now, Spirit, when it comes to this modern dating scene? But they're saying the in-between has been taken away. So it's all or nothing. That's what's going on right now, which is why it seems so extreme. And you're seeing like a lot of this like weird sexual deviancy and perversion that's going on with all these kinds of different apps for people. I'm not going to get into it, but you know what I'm talking about. And then you have the other side of the spectrum where more and more people within these generations are having less sex, but also choosing to remain celibate. So you've got more people returning to celibacy and being like understanding energy and sex and intimacy, and it's an exchange. So they're being careful who they're exchanging their energy with. More and more people are having this they're showing me a band-aid. I want to say band-aid, but they're showing me like when you wrap it around your head. I forgot what it's called. Not a mask. Spirit, what is it called? No, it's left my head. But they keep saying band-aid, band-aid. People to rip the band-aid off. But more and more people are seeking healing when it comes to themselves. They want somebody else who is also on that same path, because you don't want to be a mother or a father to someone. That's what keeps coming through. And we have Kali Ma, facing fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to sort. Exactly that. It's a huge death and rebirth like no other before in human history when it comes to love life. When it comes to who you choose as your life partner, who you choose to have children with, who you choose to make memories with and share life with in a romantic sense. A huge death and rebirth, and it's global. They're saying it's global. So depending on the culture and the country that you're born into, because they are saying like arranged marriages, that this type of thing, it does still exist. It is still a tradition in a lot of cultures. But with this reading, I'm specifically talking to those of you who were like born and raised in the Western world, or this is where you reside now, and this is kind of what you are looking for when it comes to dating, when it comes to love life, more connected to the Western modern world. This is what is coming through. This is what is going through a huge death. And with that death, they keep saying that it's like the options have been taken away. The options have been taken away. It's like, do you want to settle? Do you want the karmic trenches? Or do you want your true love? Do you want to do the work and align to your true love? And when you're doing that, it's like there's a huge gap that is missing. Like some people will kiss her through frogs before they meet their prince. It's like that's missing, because you've taken yourself out of the rat race. You've taken yourself out of the dating and love life rat race, Spirit is saying. What else? You guys could be seeing Kali Ma everywhere. Mercury, open communication. Get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. People want that genuine connection. With that genuine connection, they're pointing to the throat chakra. It means you have to speak. It means you have to have that communication. It means you need to have those conversations. They're just yelling at each other and having arguments and going straight into the reaction. You need to sit down like adults and show your maturity. Show you've gone through your Saturn return. They're talking about the Saturn return. Show that you've gone through your Saturn return. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be of the ages where we have our first one, 27 to 30. It just means you have to be spiritually mature, which is why they're pointing to the true love, to that alignment, to ascension. Because if you're taking that path, then you have to mature, you have to evolve, right? And this is what a lot of people are choosing to do in this modern world. You're realizing you're a soul having a human experience, and you're choosing this over here. You don't want the karmic trenches. You don't want these options over here. You don't want to go on all these apps and do all this weird stuff. That this is what is coming through. They're also pointing to the Mercury symbol that is on his shoulder. Can you see this here? This. So maybe you're actually seeing the symbol that is connected to Mercury. That's coming through for somebody. But now they're showing me 2 birth charts, and it's like there's certain synastries that need to be aligning, and they are talking about Mercury. So this is obviously where you feel comfortable expressing and open yourself up to another human being. Whether you can be your silly, aloof self. Can you be your true, authentic self with this person? Yes or no? If it's a no, you're leaving it alone and you want to go down your own path. They keep pointing to the yellow brick road. Some of you guys could be seeing the yellow brick road everywhere. Also, Alice in Wonderland I'm being shown is coming through. Alice in Wonderland. Spirit are saying people are busy jumping down the rabbit holes. People are busy jumping down the rabbit holes and researching all these conspiracy theories and really waking up. The blindfold, that's what it is. Couldn't remember the word. The blindfold is coming off, and when the blindfold comes off and God is like, you need to unprogram everything you think you know, reprogram yourself, do your healing, do your inner work, do your shadow work, and remember who you are. Remember who you are at your core, not who your parents or society told you to be. You need to strip away, you need to release all of this baggage, unpack your suitcase, all this crap you were carrying, because that wasn't you, that was weighing you down, and then you would have come into alignment with the wrong person, or with the person who was where you were at. So you meet people where you're at, right? There's more and more people who are not wanting to meet people where they're at because they are realizing and taking accountability for who they are. And yes, there's a lot more people that need to do that, which is why the karmic trenches are so big. The karmic trenches are over here. It's like a huge mass grave. They're showing me a huge mass grave. And that's that death energy. But then with death, there is a rebirth. And that's the new dawn. That's that yellow brick road path. That's the new dawn. And they keep pointing. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be in the grave? Do you want to walk down this yellow brick road path? Which one is it? Which one is it? We have Lord Ganesh. People are basically busy with their ascension. So people are busy with their enlightenment and their ascension. And they know if they settle, if they go over here in his karmic trenches, they're going to get stagnant. They're going to get held back by this person. Because this person isn't on the same wavelength. This person isn't on the same frequency. Lord Ganesh, infinite abundance, obstacles are being removed, spiritual support and connections are increasing. True love, twin flame, kingdom spouse, divine counterpart, whatever you call it, meeting that right person who was God ordained, that God chose for you. Or more so, they're made up of the same stuff when it comes to the soul level. They have a similar blueprint to you. And you're both going on this yellow brick road path. So you don't have to worry about this person holding you back. And there's also a looking, there's something about a window is very, very significant. You guys looking out of a window and you're seeing all of this scenes, you're seeing all of this stuff, but you're also looking back in the past. And it's not your past, you're looking back at your grandparents' past, your parents' past, your grandparents' past, your great-great-grandparents' past. And you're seeing like where some of them may have settled, where some of them were in domestic violence or abusive relationships, they were in toxic, unhealthy relationships, where some of them where it wasn't meant, not necessarily toxic, but there wasn't a spark, there wasn't a passion. It's just like, oh, you'll do, I'll pick this person because it's convenient, and you'll do, and we can do life together, and we can share the bills together. It was like that. You're watching all of this, you're like, no, thank you. And when you're looking out the window, you're seeing the modern dating scene, you're like, all of this, OnlyFans, dating apps, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you. And you're walking to what is bright, you're walking towards the light, to what is yellow. Yellow is very, very significant. I feel like you would have a lot of this colour within your auric field, yellow and oranges, because you're tapping into your creativity. And obviously when it comes to romantic connections, you're exchanging sexual energy and that creativity, that sexual energy. So if you're being intimate with the wrong person, they're going to act as an energy vampire, and they're just going to act as a succubus and just suck at you. And this halts your creative energy, but also halts how you look. It halts your glow because it sucks at your life force. And more people are choosing to have the glow up life. I'm hearing to have that glow up life, to have that level up life. So there are more people choosing to remain single and being celibate until they meet that right person, their Mercury person, their match, that person who's equally yoked, that person who's made up of the same stuff, that person that ignites your soul and your heart on fire. What else, Spirit? One more card from this deck, please, for the collective. Mother Mary. Love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Some other healing is possible at this time. Exactly. And there was a huge healing when it comes to the divine feminine energy. The patriarchy, I'm hearing. The patriarchy is crumbling, but in terms of women not being heard and seen and listened to for their leadership ability. Because Mother Mary, that's the mother. That is the mother who birthed Jesus Christ. She birthed Christ consciousness. And this is the thing. Everything comes from the woman. Everything comes from the womb. The womb is the root. The womb is creation. Even the Most High God came through a womb of time and space, Spirit is saying. And this is what needs to be valued again. Mothers. Motherhood. It is the greatest job on earth and a great responsibility to raise another human being in the right way. It's easy to just drag children up, and that's what we've been seeing in the last few generations. They keep pointing to millennials and Gen Z specifically because these are the ones who have been breaking these cycles that the parents and grandparents didn't break. And particularly when it comes to romantic connections and who you're choosing to have children with, it's all very, very significant. It's all divine orchestration right now, because there are lines and lines of souls of the next generations of these spirit babies who are coming through, who'll be coming through. Some of you guys, particularly you're from millennials and Gen Z, they're choosing to come through you because you've been doing the work, because you've broken the cycles, because you're that generational breaker and you're also that generational starter. They're choosing you. They're pointing to you because you're the one who's going to assist them and point them to go down this path. You're not even going to give that grave in the karmic trenches. That's not an option. There's something about that option being taken away. You're going to lead and point your children down this way, the yellow brick road. That's the path you walk. That's the right way. That's going to lead you home to self. That's going to lead you home to God. It's all very, very significant right now, which is why it looks like the dating scene and the love's lives right now is a whole hot mess. And for some people it is, but that's because they're still close to this karmic trench side over here. When you're moving more towards the new dawn, into that birth energy, this is when you meet like your kingdom spouse. This is when you meet that person where it's God ordained. But they're just like you when it comes to the blueprint. But on the human level, yeah, there could be a lot of differences. You could really like mirror each other on a human level and be complete opposites. What else, Spirit, do the collective need to hear when it comes to this modern dating and modern love life? We have envy, which flew on top of financial constraints. So this is it. Envy, the green-eyed monster. Obviously, a lot of people, when you come into a beautiful connection where you can see it's very, very healthy and you have a lot of love for each other, there's a lot of people in this world, and particularly online now, because a lot of people share their relationships online where people don't believe it, or they're just waiting for you to break up. They're waiting for something bad to happen, or they're going to try and prove it doesn't exist by stealing your man or stealing your woman. This is what we're having to face. We're having to face the envy and the financial constraints. You're having to face where we've gone wrong, but where our parents have gone wrong, where our grandparents have gone wrong, and we're having to fix it. And in that fixing, it just looks like, what the hell is going on? Because nobody necessarily knows what they are doing until they've got to the root. You have to get to the root before you get that clarity. And this is what is happening. The envy has to be removed. The darkness has to be removed. You have to allow yourself to have this death and grieve who you thought you were, and all this programming. And often the fairy tale of a love, or what love should look like, because all human beings carry programming. All human beings carry their beliefs, their opinions, their perception. Every single human is a soul. So that's a lot. That's a lot of layers to every single human being. When you're coming together as two, you have to remember that everybody has their stuff, but also everybody has their birthing. Everybody has their new dawn. Yes, everybody has the death, but everybody has that new dawn. And this is what more and more people are waking up to. We're going to be seeing a lot more unions coming in. We're already seeing it, but you're going to be seeing a lot more unions coming in, particularly this year that I'm recording this message, 2025, the year of the 9, of the snake, of death and rebirth, of endings and beginnings, rather. We're going to be seeing a lot of separations and then unions coming in, unions of the light, unions that are going to assist in raising the consciousness of Mother Earth and humanity. But first, we got to deal with this green-eyed monster, where people are settling, where people are living in the dark, and you're not necessarily fired up, and you aren't happy, and you aren't connected to anything. It's like a voidness. There's a void that had been there. You know, sometimes people will say, oh, I was born in the wrong generation. I should have been born in the 50s, da 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 da. But in those eras, there was a lot of avoidness of people just being a shell of themselves, or just doing what society told you to do, doing what was expected of you, not doing what actually lit you up. And then we have the sun. It flew out as well. So those two flew out with each other. This one flew out separately, the sun. This is what we're moving towards. The yellow brick road path. Something very significant about the colour yellow. You guys could be seeing it everywhere right now. Maybe you're drawn to wearing a lot of yellow. Maybe when you do meet that person, because like I said, unions are coming in, so they're coming in for you. When they do come in, maybe this person is wearing yellow. You could be wearing yellow. Some of you could feel very connected to Oshun. I'm hearing Oshun, and maybe you see sunflowers everywhere, because that flower is connected to her, but that could be how she speaks to you. One of the signs and omens, but Oshun is coming through. I'm also hearing Santeria. So that could be a lineage or a spiritual path that you guys follow. And Archangel Gabriel will announce it. Archangel Gabriel is going to be announcing all of these unions coming in. Your clear audience, you could be noticing that your clear audience is really opening, and you're hearing spirit and your ancestors a lot more. Remember to lean into them, particularly when it comes to romantic connections, when it comes to your dating life, particularly when you are feeling lonely, if you're someone who's like not putting yourself out there because you don't see any point. And this is it. I kept seeing someone, it was like you're looking out of a window, and it's almost as if there was a movie being played out of the window, and you're seeing all of these different dating scenarios that are going on this day and age. You're like, what the hell? No, that is not for me. But what is for you is the sun. What is for you is Lord Ganesh, is the sun, it's the yellow brick road path. So you're also learning to like forge your own way and meet new people in new ways. What else, Spirit? Because let's be honest, this generation has got very used to doing everything online. Meeting people online, doing everything online. But when it's online, that's through a screen. You can't necessarily feel whether you're actually going to have chemistry with this person. You can't necessarily feel their auric field and their energy properly as you could if you were to bump into them and meet them in person. And a lot of these unions are going to be happening in miraculous ways. Yeah, some of them were still, you'll still connect firstly online. But then when you meet in person, that's when you're really going to realise. That's when you're actually going to get to know this person. You're spending time with them in the physical. So there's a need for that communication, for us to really develop our communication better. And really open up to other people and not be afraid. Because you only have one life, being who you are now. Obviously the soul reincarnates. We come back. But you only have one life, being who you are in this life. Gaia, resilient spirit, earth connection, stay rooted in trust and faith. As I've said that, so there's a need to really anchor ourselves and ground ourselves into the physical. So there's so much work that this generation in the modern world has been doing. So much work. To ground and to come back to self. And when you're coming back to self, you need to have your own space. You need to be I'm hearing a master of detachment. You need to detach from what was. You need to detach from society, from friends and family who are telling you, oh no, you need to do it this way, this is my belief, this is what I believe, you need to be doing this to do. You have to detach yourself from all of that and be like, okay, no, how do I see things? Who do I want to be going forward? What do I want my romantic connection? What do I want my love life to look like? How do I want to raise my kids? You got to focus on you and your abundance and your rainbow. What do you want your world to look like? And that takes being alone. Which is why it's good to have that single period. Have periods of singleness where you're not in a relationship and you are just focusing on yourself. Because you can really turn within without any distractions. Not to say that you can't do that with the right person, you can, but there are periods that God wants us to be in isolation, to be in the cave, to be in that hermit mode. Sanet Kamara, open channel. Signs, codes, downloads, and sacred information. Beautiful. And Sanat Kamara is connected to the 144,000 frequency. Is also connected to the twin flame blueprint. So a lot of you guys, you will be coming into unions. No, you are not crazy. You had to access your rainbow. You had to access this rainbow and this abundance within yourself before you could come into union with another. And this other person, your counterpart, they would have been going down a similar path to you. They're also going to have these spiritual antennas and be very, very connected to their higher self and to the Most High God. And that's what you want. You wouldn't want it any other way. I do feel like when some of you guys, you're meeting your person, they're going to have this glow. Like this orange, this yellow, goldy glow. This colour keeps coming through, is very significant. And obviously that kind of colour is connected to joy, connected to bliss, connected to happiness. So this is what this connection is going to bring in. So you had to first go through that death, experience that death and that grief. But they keep saying all or nothing, all or nothing. That's why it looks like sometimes it's like a desert and there's no options, there's nothing out there, because it's all or nothing. You don't want to be dealing with these people that are going to be lessons. You want to be going straight for the blessing, they're saying. What else, Spirit? Because it's easier when you're more attached to a karmic cycle to be meeting other people who are more attached to a karmic cycle and be going through those connections and those experiences, because they're going to assist in being a catalyst and awakening you and bringing you closer to this timeline over here, to this yellow brick road, to this destined timeline over here. But you made that conscious choice to be like, I don't want all of that. I want this over here. So you had that long isolation period. It looks like nothing was happening, but it was, because you were turning within. What else, Spirit? Mary Magdalene, sacred vessel, you are the answer. Be guided to your purpose. Exactly that. And you didn't want to take a bite of the fruit. Of the forbidden fruit. You didn't want to take that bite of the forbidden fruit. You wanted to focus on yourself, I am hearing. And then when you do get that fruit that's on this path over here, it's going to be beautiful, luscious mango they're showing me. It's not a forbidden fruit. It's a beautiful, luscious mango. And you can eat the whole thing. You don't just get to take a bite. You get the whole thing. You guys can feel very connected to Mary Magdalene and maybe her path. Obviously, she's the divine counterpart of Jesus Christ. And then they did go on to have children, and they had them later in life. So you guys could really resonate with Mary Magdalene's pathway, with her lineage. You could be connected to her lineage and her bloodline. That's coming through for somebody. But you're very, very mature now, but there's something very youthful about your face. You could literally have a baby face or a cherub face. There's this youthfulness that shines through you, but you're very, very mature, and that's here. That's in the energy field. That's in the aura. You could often say things and people are like, you're really wise for your age, thinking that you're a lot younger than you are. That's coming through for somebody. This deck here. So can we get some messages when it comes to this modern dating scene? Love life. What is going on here? True love. Can't make this stuff up. True love comes when you least expect it. This is what you're asking for, true love. This is a huge thing. You have to really be going to this person vulnerable and naked, and they the same. They have to come to you vulnerable and naked. And people we often underestimate the amount of work we have to do, underestimate stuff we were carrying with our soul like a blanket from past lives. And then all of the, any baggage or any abuse or any trauma you were carrying from childhood, or just things that you were told. I'm hearing money doesn't grow on trees, so maybe to do with finances and lack consciousness. You could have been raised in a lack consciousness. That all had to be stripped away. You had to come into this color, because I'm staring at this rose here. So you had to be woken up and come into this color, but on your own first, before God could bring you into union, into marriage with your person. And then with that, we have tested, which obviously you have been. So they flew out together, true love and tested. Your strengths and weaknesses are being tested. So this is your spiritual core ancestors and the Most High being like, are you still stupid? Have you learnt your lesson? So when they did bring in those options and those karmic people who would have been more so settling, they could have been better than what you experienced in the past. So when you're hearing your journey in the middle, you're getting closer to this yellow brick road path over here, you will be tested. So you will be faced with people where they're not quite it, but they're better than your past. So you still would have been settling. God does this to see, okay, have you learnt your lesson? Are you going to stay put here? Are you going to accept this here? Or are you going to continue going? Because this is hard. It is hard to get into this. It's hard to get into the true love. Yes, some people are lucky and they can experience that with like a childhood sweetheart and they meet that person early on. But they've usually done the work in the past lives. The soul already has that self-mastery. So they don't have certain lessons and pathways or these little like roadsides they have to go down. You don't want to be focusing on looking at other people's love lives and other people's paths. Unless they're ahead of you over here and they're on a similar path to you and they've got some self-mastery they can teach you. They've got some wisdom and some keys they can hand to you. That's the only time you want to be taking advice or going to somebody else. But yes, you have been tested. Boy, have you been tested, I'm hearing. But that test is coming to the end. This is the final exam. Spirit is saying you're in the final exam. This is it. Unions are coming in. Look at that when I said that. 1111 is an important number for twin flames. It symbolizes the harmony and balance of soul counterparts. It's like you guys are at a checkpoint. Like when you get to a border and you want to drive your car through. It's like you're at a checkpoint and they've been like, yep. And they just check your passport, your ID, everything. They're like, yep, go through. You guys are about to be driving through and you're going to meet this person. Because when it comes to divine counterparts, when it comes to twin flames, I'm always showing two boats coming in from completely different lands and waters. And now you're coming into the same port. That's what they're showing me right here, right now. What else, Spirit? I'm hearing that song now, right here. Right now, right here, right now. Maybe you meet this person when you're out and about. There could be like a party. Maybe I'm seeing like an outside There's like an outside bar, some sort of outside rooftop bar that's coming through for someone. Is very significant. Deeply, look deeply within to discover your soul purpose in your relationships. And when it comes to our relationships, that is the biggest trigger, right? That is the biggest catalyst for growth and evolution, particularly romantic relationships, because you're having that sexual, that intimacy exchange. And that is the quickest way to for you to understand who you are, because that's where you meet God. That's where you meet bliss when it comes to your solo, when it comes to your creativity, when it comes to your sexual energy. That's how we get here. That's how we're made. That's how we're born, right? So this is why romantic connections, they're the most significant. And then we also, that's come up with soul. Your soul is preparing to reconnect. Trust in the process. You're coming together with your divine feminine or divine masculine. You're coming into union because you've been doing this work now. And you found your sun. And once you found your sun and you become whole within yourself and you're in union within yourself when it comes to the feminine, the masculine, the lower, the higher nature, that's when the external reality starts to match that, and this person will come in. But you'll also meet more of your soul's tribes. You also meet those friends who feel like family. And then those opportunities when it comes to making money and opportunities to travel, things like that, they all start coming in. I feel like it will all come in at once. This is why I'm saying this right here. It's all going to come in at once, Spirit is saying. I'm being shown a baton. Someone, a baton. You know when people run and it's like they're holding it. It's this huge flame that's on fire. I'm being shown that. And they pass it to the next runner, the next runner. You've got that last baton. It's being passed to you from your ancestors. You've got the last one. You're about to cross that finish line. What else, Spirit? Let's get a poem for you guys. We have, I know why the caged man sings, fortune his voice does not bring. They clipped his wings and stole his crown. His only option was to fall down. Divine birthmark tainted with shame, he would quickly realize it was all a game. Once his feet touched the earth, the bondage dispersed. Solar energy reclaimed, a remembrance of his soul's name. Following the red thread, stepping where others never dared tread, but the Most High led. Now risen from the great fall, the horn of judgment sounds as he answers Gabriel's call. She walks out of the moon, womb in full bloom. He knew union had come to be, and proclaims, for in you I find me. So this is that poem that is specifically channeled. It was written for divine counterparts, for union. You're going to see who each other are straight away. I feel like I saw a spider. Some of you guys could be seeing spiders at present. You may need to do a an auric cleanse. Take like a salt water bath and just cleanse your energy field and your aura. Make sure you've got no leaks, any holes or any gaps. Because sometimes spiders or like parasites, they can represent these kinds of things within the ethers who are like trying to gnaw at your auric field. That's coming through for someone to do a salt bath or go into meditation and cleanse your auric field. I do feel like if people are leaving your life right now, let them. I do feel like there's a rearrangement of the people that are around you at present. But again, like I said before, Archangel Gabriel, he will announce it. You could be seeing this kind of this trumpet within the clouds, but Gabriel is going to be around you at present, and specifically when you're about to be coming into physical union. And I do feel like when that's about to happen, your clairaudience is just going to go through the roof. You're going to be hearing spirit like never before. You're going to be hearing God and your higher self like never before. You'll also be hearing your divine counterpart. You'll be hearing their higher self. So Archangel Gabriel is very, very significant here. And the red thread. I feel like you'll be seeing the red thread everywhere. We have here, keep your chin up, little one. The mind isn't always safe like a loaded gun. Place your head on my chest. The way you have been feeling will lay to rest. Put on your best, pray 12 times, divide by 4. Light a white candle, my holy love is knocking at your door. From your crown to your feet, I bathe you in divine heat. The mind, body and soul crystallize. All the mistreatment and lies remove their disguise. Now bask in my holy light. That's what you've been doing. You guys could be praying. Maybe you say a certain prayer 12 times or 4 times, or you could pray 12 times a day, 4 times a day. Some of you could be doing something very, very specific that your spiritual call and the Most High guided you to do. Some of you, this instructions could have come through the dream state when you was in the astral, and you've been doing that. And at the end of that, you're going to meet your person. That's coming through is very significant to someone. Again, I'm seeing Oshun. They want the card at the bottom of the deck. It says, a gentle touch, a whisper in your ear. Angels will let you know when they are near. A bird flying by, a cloud shape in the sky. Angels will always drop in just to say hi. A repeating number, a stranger's helping hand. Angels will not let you bury your head in the sand. A string of coincidences, a calling to be somewhere. Angels will guide you along your path. Then at last you'll be at the right place at the right time, as if by chance. So listen to your intuition, because it's going to lead you to meeting someone significant. If it's not your person, then you could meet someone who's like a new friend, and then because I'm getting like it could be a sibling of a friend that's coming through for somebody. But your intuition is never going to lead you astray. It's going to lead you to that right person. You want the top? The top poem says, "The woman and the rose, how would you like her to pose? Is it the curves that captivate or the heart? He thinks I'm too sensitive, so ask, please don't start. Us women are just playing our part, attention seekers or divine mystery keepers. There's many layers inside the feminine well, but shush, don't tell. We keep men on their toes. What stirs deep within us, secretly they all want to know. A white musk galore, the energy eluding from us is a lonely man's cure. Don't answer every prospect at the door. Sometimes leave a gentleman on the porch. Breathe deeply into your rose. Look him in the eyes and say you must go to be the main character of your show. Attract, don't chase, and never ever be late. God's set requires a star promptly. Now go on, remember you choose to cast as your date." So some of you guys, you could have options that all coming at once. It's when you're here on the Shallow Brick Road path, you got to the end. There could be like three, for some of you, 3 options could be coming at once. 3 men or 3 women, whatever it is you were into, they could all be coming at once. And they will all be great options, but it's only one of them that's your divine counterpart. One of them that has the blueprint that is similar to you. One of them that is your mirror. And you will know, obviously you will know. That's your mirror. Can I get a divine door to close out this reading, please, Spirit? A divine door. This one, thank you. This one here says, yes. Kiss the ground and touch the sky. Your soul is set now to leap and to fly. Here's your confirmation. What you've been doing has been working. You've done the work. You are healed. I'm hearing you are healed. You are not healing. You are healed. And you are in your power. You're in your sovereignty. You are walking your authentic path. And the Most High God and your spiritual court are saying yes. And then the Most High God is saying yes to this other person too. They have to be in the same energy. They have to be in a union. They have to be dancing and bracing and walking to the beat of their own drum. You're both going to be on that same, you're going to be in that same place, on that same port. So then you can actually come into physical union. But so many physical unions are happening. So I know when you're looking at this dating scene right now and what other people are choosing to do, it's like, what in God's name is going on? Because they're more, that's all more connected to the karmic trenches. People have got their own timelines and their own paths to be walking. You just focus on you. And when you feel that nudge and that call to put yourself out there again, put yourself out there again in a way that is in alignment to you and to your soul. So if you don't like online dating, you don't have to do online dating. You can even do it where you go to like these events where you meet people like in person. They go to like a dating event that is in person, so then you actually get a better feel of who these people are. You can actually see them, and you feel and you know if you actually have any chemistry. Because you're going to know this person when you see them, when you look into their eyes, you're going to know. And also when it comes to their energy body and their aura, you're going to know. Because you can see things within other people's auras, whether you actually see it like clairvoyantly, or whether you sense it, you pick up of it, or if it's just that inner knowing. But you will know. But your soul is preparing to connect and come into physical union. You're already in union on the 5D, but it's preparing to come into physical union. And this is where things can get the most testing and the most challenging. And the psychic attacks can ramp up as well. So do keep your prayers up and keep your protection up. But union is coming in. No, you are not meant to be alone. No, you are not destined to be alone. But that's all the messages coming through. If you did want a personal reading for me at the moment, if you're watching this when I'm recording it on the 21st of June, I've just released a 20% off sale. That's going to last for 4 days. So it will end on the 24th of June if you did want to take advantage of that. But otherwise, I will see you in another video.